This shirt costed me $500, but I still prefer to wear other shirts, especially ones like this that only costed me $40. No, I'm not flexing that I have a $500 shirt. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I regret buying that shirt. Every time I look at it, it just reminds me of how much I'm an idiot for spending that much money on a shirt. And that's exactly why I'm telling you why you shouldn't, and all the reasons why cheaper clothes are way better than expensive designer clothes. For example, the first reason why cheaper clothes are better is because when I wear expensive shirts like that, I am way too cautious in them, and for a good reason. I don't want to ruin a shirt that I spent that much money on, and if it's ruined, I can't do anything about it. I'm already sad enough I bought it. I'd be way more devastated if something were to happen to it. So wearing it out in public and always having that in the back of my head, sometimes it could ruin the things that I want to do. I am much better off wearing a shirt that I know if something were to happen to it, I wouldn't really be too upset because I could just go out and buy another one because it wasn't that expensive. And trust me, I have plenty of clothes that I could do exactly that with because they weren't expensive at all, because for the most part, I mostly buy inexpensive clothing. Anyways, the second reason that I wanted to share is there is no way a shirt is rightfully priced at that kind of price tag. I don't care what materials it has, there is no way that a shirt should be costing $500. And honestly, when I first got it, I was kind of let down at the quality of it. I have plenty of shirts that feel just the same, if not better, for a way lower price tag. So yeah, in terms of quality, I was honestly really let down. Don't get me wrong, the quality is great, but just not $500 great. But other shirts where I spent $50, $60, those shirts I feel like were really worth the price. Or better yet, the shirts that cost around $100 or $150, but because like I always say, there are so many ways getting around paying retail price, I got it for way cheaper, and I was really impressed with the quality, especially for what I paid for. For example, I have a few shirts from Ralph Lauren that usually retail for about $100 and $150, but because I find them on sale, I am able to get them for a lot cheaper. And honestly, Ralph Lauren is probably one of the best brands in my opinion when it comes to getting what you pay for, because obviously a shirt from H&M or anything like that won't really compare too much to designer shirts, but there are a lot of brands out there that really can. Just keep in mind they are going to be a little bit more pricey than something you'll find at Zara. I'm not putting those stores down, by the way. I still shop there a lot, but we're just talking about in terms of quality. And I really can't stress the fact that I'm not trying to flex that I have these shirts. Honestly, a few years back when I was younger, I used to think that it was so stupid to spend that much money on clothes, and now that I already did, I really wish that I did listen to my younger self. Another reason why I don't like wearing these expensive shirts is because sometimes it's just too tacky to wear them. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a big believer of not caring what other people think of your outfits. I never let other people's opinions affect what I wear. However, I really don't want to be seen as a guy who looks like they're trying to flex their expensive clothes. When it comes to my outfits, I personally prefer simplicity, and making little details go a long way, but when you have one of these shirts, it draws a lot of attention, and a lot of that attention can be viewed negatively, and a lot of people think that that would portray your personality. Maybe some people think that I'm overreacting because yeah, they're just clothes, but think about it, we've all seen those guys who have those big branded logo shirts that wants everybody to think that they could afford to spend that much money on clothes. So yeah, a lot of times when I have one of my designer shirts in hand, rather than a plain shirt, more times than not, I'll gravitate towards those plain clothes, which at the end of the day, it is way better to go spend that money that you're going to spend on one shirt on a whole clothing haul of clothes that you could wear multiple different ways, because there are multiple different pieces. And I have plenty of clothing hauls where I only spent $300 or $400, which yes is a lot of money, and I proved that that can get you a lot of clothes that you can wear in a bunch of different ways and a bunch of different events. So yeah, like I said, I really wish I listened to my younger self. I regret spending all that money on clothes, but let's talk about the main reason why I bought those clothes to begin with. A lot of my designer pieces I bought because of certain milestones, and honestly, I can't even lie, just being truthful, some of these milestones didn't deserve these clothes, but because I was so excited to get them in my head, kind of justified the price tag. But now that I got it out of my system, I don't want to say that I'm completely done with designer clothes, but I'll definitely be sticking to them with real milestones. And as far as actual logos and brands go, I could definitely say that I'm pushing those to the side, because as I grow older and I'm finding my own personal style, I realized that although logos here and there are really cool, I would much rather prefer a simple and versatile piece that I could wear in a bunch of different ways. And yes, there are some designer pieces that do exactly that. And as far as those alternatives that I was talking about earlier, just wanted to let you know that instead of looking at Burberry or Prada or whatever designers that you might think are cool, I personally would much rather check out Ralph Lauren, like I mentioned earlier. Lately, I have been liking Tommy Hilfiger, but just keep in mind that that's another brand that really heavily brands their logos into all of their pieces. But there are some pieces from Tommy Hilfiger that I have been liking a lot recently. Zara and H&M do pretty good jobs of replicating those designer pieces, but for a fraction of the price. And the store that I've been loving the most recently is probably going to be Abercrombie & Fitch. I have a few pieces that I picked up recently and I love them. So next time you want to check out a designer store, really keep this in mind. And if you're anything like I was when I was younger and you were curious to see what's the hype with those designer clothes, just know you're really not missing out on much. Another thing that I would like to say about designer pieces is I honestly think designer accessories are way better than actual designer clothes, but I guess it really all depends on the actual designer. But honestly, one of my favorites for accessories is going to be Coach. But instead of checking out actual Coach, you can go to the Coach outlet, and it's going to be a lot more affordable. For example, a backpack that I have is from Coach, and I think from the actual Coach store, probably like $300. But because I went to the Coach outlet, it was about like 140, 180. Honestly, I bought it a while ago, so I don't remember the actual price, but I will say it has been a while since I've had it, and it's holding up perfectly. But yeah, just some things to keep in mind when you're looking at these pieces. But of course, let me know what are your opinion of designers. I won't be offended if you call me an idiot in the comments. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe. But other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video. Later.